Well, it's the plum picking season. These are the entire crop of plums that we've had from our allotment. Very disappointing for us, although speaking to other people, they're saying that their plum crops are really good this year, so somehow we seem to be out of kilter with everybody. Nevertheless, we're into the preserves and chutney making season, so we're going to use those plums to make a plum chutney. And the advantage for us is that it allows us to use up some of our apples that we've been picking wild recently, and we have picked an awful lot of them. We came back the other day with 5 sack loads, so that allows us, this recipe allows us to use up some of those apples. And we're also putting into this recipe some of the onions that we've just picked from the allotment as well. So if you want to make a plum chutney, this is what you have to do. You need 1.5 kilos of ripe plums. Chop them in half and remove the stone, and then coarsely chop the plums and put them into a bowl. After you've chopped the plums, you then need to get 1 kilo of apples and peel, core and chop them roughly like that there. I'm using eating apples. You can use cooking apples if you want to. Just bear in mind that when you use eating apples, they're going to be that little bit sweeter than the cooking apples. And once these are all chopped, they go into the jam pan with the plums, and also you need to add in 1/2 kilo of chopped onions. Next you need to add in some grated ginger root, about the equivalent of 2 heaped tablespoonfuls. Once that's in, you then add a couple of large cloves of garlic and crush them. Next you need to add a tablespoonful of ground mustard powder and a teaspoonful of salt. Into a spice ball or a muslin bag, put 8 or 9 cloves and then break up a cinnamon stick and add that in as well. And finally you need to add 450 grams of white sugar, and then give it a good sprinkling of black pepper, and then finally, bringing up the rear, 300 millilitres of white wine or cider vinegar. After you've brought it up to the boil, you need to simmer it for at least 2 hours. As you can see, this is a lot of liquid in here, and we want to drive off most of that. So give it a regular stir as well, because it's got sugar in, and you just want to make sure that that doesn't catch on. As you can see, this has got a nice thick consistency to it now, much more like a sauce, and the excess liquid has been driven off by simmering it for about 2 hours now. So this is ready to go into hot sterilised jars. So there we have it, one of the 7.5 jars of plum and apple chutney that we made in this batch.